this week between Israel and Hamas. I'm joined now by Laura Blumenfeld, former senior policy advisor to the US State Department's Israel-Palestinian negotiating team, so knows a thing or two about all this. Welcome. How close do you think we are to a ceasefire?
I'm hopeful. If we're talking about the Holy Land, let's go back to the Bible. There is a time to sow and a time to reap. And I think the two questions that are hanging over this visit by Prime Minister Netanyahu to Washington is, how can we reap the benefits of the war with Iran and a potential peace in Gaza? And I think, it looks from the outside maybe like a 4-day kind of fist pumping celebration of ourselves, two foxhole friends, triumphant. But behind the scenes are some pretty tough negotiations. Last night, the two men, yesterday evening, they met one-on-one with little or no staff. And what that tells me is they're not only talking about policy, but also politics, domestic politics. How can they make the necessary compromises to achieve that peace without sacrificing their coalition, in Netanyahu's case in particular?
Well, that's interesting, because Netanyahu has said in an interview in the last 24 hours that there's a good chance of achieving the ceasefire. But he then says, as well as achieving the goals I set from the beginning, which, of course, is the total destruction of Hamas, which suggests the war's not over.
Well, it's over if Donald Trump says it's over. In other words, Trump has the authority. He has the popularity in Israel. He's more popular than any Israeli political figure, especially after the B-2 bomber strikes in Iran on Fordo. Which is considered an existential threat to Israel. If Donald Trump says that Netanyahu has achieved absolute victory, that might be enough to ensure Netanyahu's political survival, which some analysts say is all that